Shalom, this is Yair Davidiy speaking to you from the land of Israel. I represent Brit-Am, an organisation, a movement that finds where the lost Indian tribes are. We research the whereabouts of lost Indian tribes. We've found them amongst Western nations. It's where we concentrate upon research, publicising the results of our research, and also ultimately looking towards the future reunification of Judah, that is the Jewish people, and the lost 10 tribes of Israel, whom we find amongst Western nations. And we don't say that everyone there is descended from Israel. We say that is where the lost 10 tribes are. They might be a significant proportion of the population, they might be a minority. We are not sure. They are definitely in those areas. That is where they are. That's where the Bible places them. That is where they are to be searched for. And that is a primary effort that we are making. Other questions may be discussed later, may be gone into later, after the first primary facts, the elementary basis has been ascertained and more generally accepted than it is at present. That is what we are working towards, and that is what should be your own appreciation of this. You don't have to think, all our neighbours, is everyone here descend from lost 10 tribes? There might be, there might not be. The point is that the lost 10 tribes are there. They are amongst Western peoples, and that is where they give expression to themselves. And if anyone has an arousal or an interest in this point, they may well themselves be descendant of those same Israelites. Now we base ourselves upon the Bible, we base ourselves upon rabbinical sources, and also history, and archaeology, and legends, mythology, linguistics, every field that is somehow or other pertinent to this subject. We work upon it, we just study it, we research it. That is what we do. Present talk concerns the lost 10 tribes in the British Isles in Celtic times. There are no conventional descriptions of British history. They say that originally there were native peoples in the British Isles. They received Celtic civilization, possibly through invasions of others from the continent, or through a process of cultural osmosis, receiving cultural influences from overseas from the continent, or a combination of the two, both invasion and cultural osmosis. At all events, we had the people known in history, conventionally speaking, as Celts, after the Celtic languages that they spoke. After the Celts came the Angles and Saxons and the Jutes and a combination of other tribes, and then the Vikings, and then the Normans, and then others, and all of these people together made the British people. But the overwhelming mass, in a demographic sense, were those of Celtic civilization. We hold that those people of Celtic civilization in Britain were of Israelite descent, as were the Angles and the Saxons and the Vikings and the others who came after them. So concerning the Celts, we have Roman descriptions, we have traditions concerning which peoples dwelt in the British Isles at that time. We find, which are the names of places from that time, including, for instance, the map of Ptolemy, who was a geographer who lived in Alexandria of Egypt, but he was of Greek descent. He wrote in Greek. He wrote in the 1st century CE, approximately, but he based himself upon ancient Phoenician sources, at least in part, of Marianus of Tyre and others. And he is an important source, and also I have other sources about the same time. And they give us names of peoples and tribes in the British Isles, which suggest in themselves Hebrew origins. To start with, they give us the name Hebrew. They give us the name Hebrew. The name Hebrew seems to have been a generic name, a name that they applied to themselves, or at least it is the nearest we can get. We don't know what these people call themselves. They are referred to as Celts in Roman writings, but we don't know that the Romans applied this name to. We do not know why the Romans applied this name to them. It does not seem as if that is a name they used for themselves. they may have called themselves Galati or Galadi in part, or they may not, and perhaps the word Celtic is derived from that. At all events, we find a root name, Heber, meaning Hebrew, in numerous place names and ethnic names throughout the Celtic world. We also find these in the British Isles. In Ireland, we have the name Heber, Heber, meaning which name is applied to one of their mythological ancestors of the island. Island itself is known as Hibernia. We have the Hebrides Isles. We have Brit-Am. We have numerous other place names in Britain with this root. Also in Wales, we have numerous place names. Aber, beginning with Aber, which is from the same source. And both these names, Aber and Eber, are derived from the Hebrew Aver, which means Hebrew. So that in itself is an indication. Starting with Scotland, we find, according to the map of Ptolemy, we find in the far north groups of peoples such as Kanonasi, the Caireni, the Curons, and others with this root Kern with the root Kern in their name. Also found elsewhere in the British Isles, the area where these names are found is an area then associated with the Picts peoples. The Picts were otherwise known as the Agathyrsi. The Agathyrsi descend from Ayazar, translated as Jezer, from the tribe of Gilead. Abi Ezri was another name for this clan. Gideon the judge belonged to this clan. They were an important clan in the section of Gilead amongst the tribe of Manasseh. And we find this name here amongst the Picts and the Agathyrsi in this region. The Agathyrsi were also known as the Khazars. A section of them were in southern Russia. They eventually converted to Judaism. And they had a tradition that they were descended from the tribes of Simeon and Manasseh. So this confirms identifying these people with Manasseh. Manasseh was the son of Joseph. We also have in northern Scotland the Damnoni. We have a region here, a river Don, and artifacts relating to the Scythians in southern Russia, such as certain types of horse harnesses and so on, from this area. And elsewhere we find the same name, the Damnoni in Western Ireland, and the Damnonia in southwest Britain, otherwise now known as Devon, but in the Middle Ages referred to as Danonia, and where we find this word root Damnonia or Damnoni and the like, it is another version of Dan. It is elsewhere given as Dan. This is a way of pronouncing the name Dan. We can relate these people to Dan. We also find in northern Yorkshire, and we also find in what is now northern England, another river named the River of Don, and Ptolemy in that region places the city of Danam, which contains the root word Dan, from the tribe of Dan. What is interesting is that later Vikings from Denmark, known as Danes, also descended from Dan. According to their own traditions, Dan was their ancestor. They settled in this region. It's as if the coming of Dan, of the Danites from Denmark to this region, had been foreshadowed by Celtic people of the same name also having dwelt there. And this is what we find quite frequently, of peoples from the same tribe, peoples whom we trace to the same tribe or even to the same tribal clans re-coalescing, coming back together without being consciously aware of what they are doing. And in Scotland we have the Caledoni, whose name relates us to the Galati, or the Galadi as they were known in what is now France. These peoples relate us to Gilead. Gilead was a portion of Manasseh, Later the Assyrians conquered that area and conquered the rest of Israel, and they exiled all of the Israelites to different portions of the Assyrian Empire, and they renamed the provinces. And so one of the names that they gave to the province after they had conquered it, east of the Jordan, to the whole region east of the Jordan, they called it Kanunia, or Kanuni, which is also found in the book of Amos concerning the area Karnaim, from the root Keren. And we saw how, too, the Picts were in regions where their tribes were known as Kanonasti, Kereni, and so on, also with this root word Keren. And we saw how they too were related to Gilead. We saw how too they were related to Gilead in Manasseh. Donians in Scotland were apparently connected to the Galladay in what is now Gaul, what is France. The Galladay was also known as Galladay, which name is how the French actually write the word Gilead, and they too were part of that region. Gilead was the name of a subsection in Manasseh. It was also the name of a region east of the Jordan where Gilead dwelt, but other portions of other tribes, of the tribes of Reuben and Gad, were also to be found. As we said, northern England, we have Iberachim with the root name Eber in it. We have the Parisi, who are related to Perish and Manasseh. We have this area of Danum, relating to Dan. Then in central England, we have the Idumeas River, which bordered on the section of the tribe of Simeni. This is what they were called, according to Ptolemy, Simeni. The Simeni are also known as Iceni. Iceni, or a famous tribe, Queen Boadicea, who led the revolt against the Romans, came from the Iceni tribe. The name Iceni is a Phoenician-type pronunciation of the name Yachin. Yachin was one of the subsections, one of the clans of Simeon. And here we have the Iceni in an area otherwise known as Simeni. Simeni is the same as Simeon. Iceni is the same as Yachin. Yachin was a subsection amongst the tribe of Simeon, and here we have the two names together. Also, they are bordered by a river named as Idumeas. Idumeas was the name of a province, otherwise known as Edom. Of Edom was known as Idumea, and that bordered on the land of Simeon and nation Israel. But this also is of interest because we have too the river that is bordering on the territory of the Iceni, of the Simeni in western and eastern England, also called Idumeas, the Idumeas River. In southwest England we have the Issachar River, named after Isaac. Further to the west we have the Tamaris River, named after Tamar, a settlement known as Tamar. Tamar was the daughter-in-law of Judah, by whom he begat Peretz and Zerah, two important clans, subdivisions amongst Judah. So too we have in this region Damnoni, which relates to Damnoni and Damnona in Scotland, and which relates also to similar names in Western Ireland and in northern Scotland, and these areas are all associated with the tribe of Dan. This region later became known as Devon. Devon gave rise to important sailors in the history of England, Francis Drake, and all of the early sailors and buccaneers of the time of Queen Elizabeth, who were very important in the history of England, and also explorers. They came from Devon, or a good portion of them came from Devon. Devon was known for that throughout its history. Devon, this area, was known for supplying sailors to the British Empire, sailors of importance, and this is one of the traits of the tribe of Dan, which is of interest. So there's much more along the same lines And there are many more details that clarify and explain and corroborate what we have said, but that you have now received an idea of what there is. And these deductions are confirmed by archaeological evidence, by legends, and by other sources. May the Lord God of Israel bless you. Thank you.